We were looking at financial markets. We talked about the case first, where the only bank in the economy is a central bank and there are no commercial banks. Then we talked about the case where the economy has a central bank along with the banking sector that collects deposits from the public. And we saw how we can think of the equilibrium in the financial market in this case, where we do have a banking sector in terms of the equality of supply and demand for central bank money. So we looked at the financial market equilibrium can be expressed as demand for central bank money is equal to supply of central bank money. Then we talked about what is central bank money, what is demand for central bank money, what is supply for central bank. Now, there's another way of looking at the equilibrium. Instead of in terms of looking at demand and supply for central bank money, the another equivalent way to look at the equilibrium in the financial market in the case where the economy has a banking sector is in terms of overall demand and supply of money. So financial market equilibrium in this case can also be expressed as overall money demand is equal to overall money supply. So right, initially we talked about what financial market equilibrium is, where supply of central bank money is demand for central bank money. Now, what we're saying is an equivalent way to express financial market equilibrium in the case where the economy, how the banking sector is overall money demand is equal to overall money supply. Let's first see how we can derive this equilibrium condition, MD's MS, from the equilibrium condition in terms of demand and supply of central bank money, right? So we want to see, okay, how can we derive from here that HS is equal to HD, the equivalent equilibrium condition that MS is equal to MD. So for this, we start with the equilibrium condition in terms of demand and supply of central bank money. IHS is equal to HD, right? We looked at financial market equilibrium can be expressed as with HS is equal to HD. Here we said we're assuming that the central bank perfectly controls the supply of central bank money, which we're assuming the central bank sets at the level H. We talked about this over here. The supply of central bank money is under the direct control central bank. Assume HS is equal to H bar is fixed by the central bank. So HS is just equal to H. Demand for central bank money, we derived and saw that it just turns out to be equal to C plus theta 1 minus CMD. We've looked at in detail why HT is equal to this. So this is demand for central bank, right? And we know what is MD. MD is dollar by LI, right? So this is just the equilibrium condition in terms of demand and supply of central bank money, where we know HS is equal to H is being set by the central bank. We already looked at HT C plus theta 1 minus CMD, where MD is dollar by LI. Now divide both sides by the term in the squared bracket C plus theta 1 minus C. And what you're going to get is 1 by C plus theta 1 minus CH is equal to dollar by LI. And this is now on the right hand side, we have the overall money demand. Dollar by LI is our MD, overall demand for money. The term on the left hand side, as you might have guessed, because this equation is an equilibrium condition, is the overall money supply MS. So basically, this equation says that in equilibrium, the overall supply of money MS, which is 1 by C plus theta 1 minus CH, where H is supply of central bank money. We'll look in detail what this term 1 by C plus theta 1 minus C is. And we know dollar by LI here is MD. Right. So what we're saying over here is that in the case where the economy has a banking sector, so there are two ways that you can express financial market equilibrium. One is in terms of demand and supply of central bank money, HS is equal to HT. And another equivalent way to express financial market equilibrium in this case is in terms of overall demand and supply of money, i.e. MD is equal to MS. And we've looked at how we can derive from HS is equal to HT, the equivalent equilibrium condition, MD is equal to MS.